Hey everyone, EJ here. For years I struggled to make ends meet, bouncing between odd jobs and feeling like I was stuck in a financial rut. This book, along with my own experiences, inspired this video, where I'm breaking down how to build a strong financial foundation with $25,000. Let's get started. Now you might be thinking $25,000, that's a lot of money. And yeah, it can seem like a daunting amount, especially if you're starting from scratch. But trust me, it's totally achievable. The key here is to break it down into smaller, more manageable goals. Instead of focusing on the entire $25,000, start with a smaller target, like $1,000. Once you hit that milestone, celebrate your success, and then set your sights on the next $1,000. This approach not only makes the goal less overwhelming but also keeps you motivated along the way. Now, to reach that initial $1,000, you need to take a hard look at your income and expenses. This is where budgeting comes in. The goal is to track your spending, identify areas where you might be overspending, and free up cash flow to put towards your savings. By consistently saving even small amounts, you'll be surprised at how quickly your money can grow. So, start small, stay consistent, and watch as you steadily inch closer to that $25,000 milestone. Alright, let's talk about frugal living. Frugal living isn't about being cheap. It's about being smart and resourceful with your money. It's about finding ways to save without sacrificing your quality of life. One of the easiest ways to embrace frugality is to be mindful of your everyday spending. Do you really need that daily latte? Could you pack your lunch a few times a week instead of eating out? Small changes like these can make a big difference in the long run. Another tip is to take advantage of free or low-cost entertainment. Check out books from the library instead of buying them. Explore free events in your community, like concerts in the park or museum free days. When it comes to shopping, be a savvy consumer. Look for deals, use coupons, and compare prices before you buy. Remember, frugal living is a mindset shift. Let's be real, guys, the big three, housing, transportation, and food, are often the biggest culprits when it comes to draining our bank accounts. But don't worry, I've got some practical advice to help you keep these expenses in check. First up, housing. If you're renting, consider getting roommates to split the bills. If you're thinking about buying, explore different neighborhoods and weigh the pros and cons of each location. Next, transportation. Owning a car can be a major expense, especially when you factor in car payments, insurance, gas, and maintenance. If possible, consider alternative modes of transportation like biking, walking, or public transit. Finally, food. Meal planning is your best friend here. Plan your meals for the week, make a grocery list, and stick to it. Alright, let's dive deeper into car expenses. As we discussed earlier, owning a car can be a real money pit. But fear not, my friends, there are plenty of ways to save on these costs without sacrificing your wheels. First and foremost, proper car maintenance is key. Regular oil changes, tire rotations, and timely repairs can prevent costly breakdowns down the road. Think of it like this: spending a little now on maintenance can save you a ton in the long run. Next up, insurance. Don't just auto-renew your policy every year without shopping around. Compare rates from different insurance providers to make sure you're getting the best deal. And hey, if you've got a good driving record, don't be afraid to ask for discounts. With gas prices always fluctuating, it pays to drive a fuel-efficient car. Consider carpooling with colleagues, running errands all at once, or even walking or biking for shorter trips. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, food. Now, I'm not saying you have to survive on ramen noodles and tap water, but there are definitely ways to cut down on food costs without sacrificing your taste buds. The golden rule? Cook at home as much as possible. I know, takeout is tempting, but trust me, cooking at home is not only cheaper but often healthier too. Plan your meals for the week, make a grocery list, and stick to it. This will help you avoid impulse purchases and reduce food waste. Look for sales and discounts and stock up on non-perishable items when they're on sale. Consider buying in bulk for staples like rice, beans, and oats. And don't be afraid to try generic brands. They're often just as good as name brands, but at a fraction of the cost. Another tip is to be mindful of portion sizes. We often serve ourselves way more than we need, which leads to leftovers and ultimately, food waste. Start with smaller portions and see if you're still hungry afterwards. Remember, saving money on food isn't about depriving yourself, it's about being smart and resourceful. Alright, let's tackle the behemoth of expenses: housing. Whether you're renting or buying, your housing costs can eat up a huge chunk of your budget. But don't worry, I've got some tips to help you keep those costs in check. If you're renting, consider getting roommates to split the bills. This can significantly reduce your monthly expenses, especially in expensive cities. Plus, having roommates can be fun. Just make sure you choose people you get along with and who share similar lifestyles. Another option is to negotiate your rent. Yes, you heard that right. Many landlords are open to negotiation, especially if you're a good tenant with a solid rental history. Do your research, compare rent prices in your area, and come prepared with a reasonable offer. If you're thinking about buying, it's crucial to shop around and compare mortgage rates from different lenders. Don't settle for the first offer you get. Alright folks, let's talk about a topic that's often shrouded in mystery and confusion: credit scores. I know it might seem intimidating, but trust me, understanding your credit score is crucial for your financial well-being. Think of your credit score as your financial GPA. It's a 3-digit number that represents your creditworthiness, or how likely you are to repay your debts on time. A higher credit score opens doors to better interest rates on loans, credit cards, and even insurance premiums. So, how do you build a good credit score? It's all about demonstrating responsible credit behavior. That means paying your bills on time, every time, whether it's your credit card bill, student loan payment, or utility bill. Set up automatic payments or reminders to avoid late payments. Another important factor is your credit utilization ratio, which is the amount of credit you're using compared to your total credit limit. Let's talk fashion, but not the kind that breaks the bank. We're talking about building a wardrobe that's both stylish and budget-friendly. The key here is to focus on quality over quantity and to shop smart. First things first, assess your needs. What kind of clothes do you actually wear on a regular basis? What occasions do you need to dress for? Once you have a clear understanding of your wardrobe needs, you can start shopping strategically. Instead of chasing after every trend, invest in timeless pieces that will last you for years to come. A classic white shirt, a well-fitting pair of jeans, a versatile blazer. These are the workhorses of any wardrobe. When it comes to shopping, don't be afraid to venture beyond department stores. Thrift stores, consignment shops, and online marketplaces can be treasure troves for finding unique and affordable clothing. Another tip is to take care of your clothes. Let's talk about insurance, specifically high-deductible health insurance plans. Now I know what you're thinking: high deductible? Doesn't that mean I'll have to pay more out of pocket? And yes, you're right to a certain extent. But hear me out, because there are some potentially significant advantages to consider. With a high-deductible health plan, you typically pay lower monthly premiums compared to traditional plans. This means you'll have more money in your pocket each month, which you can then put towards savings or other financial goals. Now, the high-deductible part means you're responsible for a larger portion of your medical expenses before your insurance kicks in. However, this is where a health savings account, HSA, comes in. An HSA is like a personal savings account specifically for healthcare costs. Alright folks, let's talk about a crucial aspect of financial security: building an emergency fund. Now I know it might not sound as exciting as investing in the stock market or buying real estate, but trust me, having a solid emergency fund can be a lifesaver when unexpected expenses pop up. Life throws curveballs, whether it's a sudden job loss, a medical emergency, or a car breaking down. An emergency fund acts as a financial cushion, providing you with peace of mind knowing you can handle these unexpected events without going into debt. So, how much should you aim for in your emergency fund? Ideally, you want to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. Now I know that might seem like a daunting amount, especially when you're first starting out. But remember, building an emergency fund is a marathon, not a sprint. Start small, even if it's just setting aside $50 or $100 each month, and gradually increase your contributions over time. Where should you keep your emergency fund? You want it to be easily accessible when you need it, so a high-yield savings account or a money market account is a good option. And there you have it, guys. A roadmap to building a $25,000 foundation for financial freedom. Remember, it's all about making small, consistent changes over time. Don't get overwhelmed. Pick one area that resonates with you and start there. You've got this.